Hey, it's the Fatboy Show on RX Radio. I hope you had a good night's sleep and you didn't have much trouble getting up early out of bed today. Guess what? It's been statistically proven that people who have an easy time getting out of bed are people who are typically optimistic about life in general. Part of what makes waking up early easier is the fact that you're excited for the day.
And you have something to look forward to.
You have something to look forward to. But if you have a dreary day ahead of you, or you know you're going to have boring meetings, you're going to meet annoying people, you're not going to want to leave that bed.
I
see. So you need to think about that.
As an employee, you may wake up and you're like, that meeting again.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the boss, you're like, this is when I'm getting results. You people are giving me, follow-up remarks.
Oh, yeah. And so I would use that as a metric. If you're finding that waking up is hard, one of the reasons could be just that you're not happy with the direction that your life is taking. So you might want to fix that so that you can get better sleep.
That's true.
Well, today on the Fatboy Show, we're asking a very interesting question. What's the biggest lie someone ever told you?
Biggest lie someone ever told me or about me?
Someone ever told you the biggest lie?
That they will marry me.
How was that a lie?
Someone's am I married? I'm here.
Maybe you're the one who
Never
refused.
Been married. No, I didn't refuse. But when someone wants to rein you in and they're like, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen and stuff like that. And of course, they promise you marriage. And here we are. Government needs to help me.
I'm still surprised that the promise of marriage excites ladies today. Because from what I can tell, a lot of them don't enjoy being married.
Well, that's a story for another day. But there are women who love to get married.
Actually, my working theory is this. Women like to get married. They don't like to be married.
You're talking about the women that are more focused on the wedding.
Yes, because the act of getting married, or specifically the wedding, is a huge mark of status.
And it's exciting, the planning.
The dress, for a girl, it's like literally this is her time to shine. And to make herself proud, or rather make her parents proud of her and her family.
And to show her friends that she got it.
Yes, and so for that reason, a lot of ladies would like the idea of getting married, except now when all is said and done and now you are a wife in charge of a home, all of a sudden it's not fun anymore. All of a sudden you have an annoying husband. In fact, it finally dawns on you that you have a husband to deal with as well.
No, you have a point. And of course, in the church, if people are religious, that's why sometimes, actually not sometimes, when if you are under a church, let's say the Catholic Church, they will even recommend things like premarital counseling, and it can go on for like 3 to even 10 months because they're trying to prepare you for what's coming ahead. But in most cases, people don't even do that counseling. They love each other 3, 5, 6 months, they're getting married. They have not considered what marriage stands for. So you go in there and you get a rude awakening. What you thought it was is not what it is. And now you have to do the work. But you're starting from a point of failure already because you didn't prepare yourself.
Wow. Well, it looks like whoever does those pre-marriage counseling sessions, they're not doing a good job because...
But some people intentionally don't attend the sessions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's so boring. Like it's supposed to be about the fun and...
No, it's not. Because no one is going to tell you that marriage is fun.
About how you're going to manage money.
Manage money, raise kids, manage time, respect each other's emotions, communication. And most people don't want to do that work.
Communication, the biggest scam. I feel like anytime they mention, women need communication, it's a big lie.
Marriages need communication and marriages take two. Not just one gender.
But between the genders, who is the one that complains about communication the most? It's usually the ladies, right? I don't see too many husbands saying my wife doesn't communicate to me.
But when
it's usually the wife who's feeling upset, angry.
Are you sure though?
And then
we may need a married person to help us demystify this, because both of us are speaking from speculation.
No, okay. So I've never been married, but I remember in my last serious relationship, or my second last serious relationship, and it was on the verge of falling apart. And try as I might, I just couldn't get this lady to just say what the problem was. She just kept expressing unhappiness and frustration, and then I remember her saying, we don't even talk. And I'm like, chick, we've been talking for the last 3 hours. What do you mean we don't talk? How much more are we supposed to
But
talk?
sometimes
And
people
then
will say, and then
I came to realize that it wasn't so much that we were talking or not talking. It's just how she was feeling about me generally. When a woman doesn't feel attracted to you, basically nothing you do will be good enough. Whereas if she is attracted to you, you can even do nothing and it'll be sufficient.
But there are moments when, yes, I'm still attracted to you as a woman, but I notice that we are drawing, apart. And that's when probably I will even be like, we don't connect, we don't talk anymore. And in most cases, at least in my opinion, when someone brings up something like that, they're trying to fix something before it falls apart entirely.
They're not trying to fix it. I feel like they're giving you a justification for why they are soon going to exit the relationship.
So we should never cite that we are drawing apart, that we that we are no longer as connected as we used to be. We should never say such things, because that a man is going to think that we want to exit the relationship.
I think that's the safest assumption to make. So,
Really?
yeah.
Trying to fix something is a way of trying to ruin it?
So I don't personally subscribe to the notion that a relationship can be fixed. I used to think that. Now I don't. Now I go in assuming that there'll be a period of time where she will have a lot of excitement for me, usually just based on what expectations she's projecting onto me. And so she'll be all hyped for me and everything. And then over time, as she realizes that I don't precisely fit the mold of what she had in mind, then soon she'll start to feel disillusioned and slowly drift away, and then soon will give me a speech about how it's not me, it's her, or some crap like that. So I'm like a passenger in a bus. It's like I know that, or rather I should say, I view her as a passenger on my bus. I assume that at some point she'll be disembarking. And when she is showing signs of wanting to do that, I don't do anything to stop her.
I think that concept works so well for a long-term relationship, but in as much as you don't want to agree to the whole institution of marriage, people are still getting married. And if you're getting married, that concept can't work.
Yeah, but a lot of people who do get married learn that the hard way.
Not all people who get married end up in divorce, though. People are still getting married. People are still celebrating silver jubilees. And it's not all roses, but some people are still there and for the long haul. So we should give them their flowers.
But, I remember reading an article about Japanese widows, because in Japan, they have a very long life expectancy. So, people die when they're like 100 years old or something. But anyway, typically when you see a couple that has been together for that long, and maybe let's say the husband dies at 90 years old and they've been married for 50 years, in our heads we think, it's been, they are a role model, an example that others should follow. And yet the majority of the women that were interviewed all said that they felt quite happy that their husbands had passed, that they felt freer than they'd ever felt in their lives. So you don't know what grievances a lady might be harboring.
That's why I said it's not all roses.
She could be celebrating silver jubilee, but deep down she's like, I hate this fool. When is he going to kick the bucket?
And I don't disagree. There are those exceptions. And of course, there are exceptions where people are saying, yes, we have walked this life. We had 10 years of not seeing eye to eye. We had 3 years where we're not talking at the earliest of our marriage. But at the end of the day, are still willing to stay and have a good conversation about marriage and even encourage other people about it. So There are people like that.
So having been lied to about about marriage being on the table, now when a man proposes marriage to you, what's your reaction? Do you normally
If,
just laugh? Do you roll your eyes?
No, right now it depends. How long have I even known you for you to even mention the emoad? Because some guys front that because they believe that's what a woman wants. And in truth, at a certain age, it is what a woman wants. So if you use it, it's like how a rich guy uses his money to attract a woman. And there are many times when it works, and there are times when it won't work. Especially, for instance, if you meet a lady that has her own, she is independent, she may not necessarily want you for the money. Okay? But right now, if someone came to me and fronted marriage, no, I'm going to laugh at your face. Not that I don't want it, but I also know that con artists use the M word to try and get their prey.
This is true. But is marriage ever about the person? When you make a decision to marry a man, is it ever because you love him and want to be with him, or is it that are you just into the idea of it?
No, love is part of the beginning.
Is it really?
Yes, but here's the thing. Love starts a marriage. Love doesn't keep a marriage.
Because I remember there was a lady that was so insistent on us getting married. Like, never a moment would pass without her bringing it up. And first it started off as a joke. And then soon it became, like, seriously, like, so yeah, let's think about it. And yet the whole time I never really got the vibe that she liked me all that much. Like, I knew she wanted it, she wanted to go through with it, but I never really felt like she actually had any genuine affection for me.
For
right?
you, yes.
And in my head I was thinking, why would she want to marry me when she clearly, because she would argue with me all the time about even minor things.
Some ladies are target workers. He sees you and he's like, this guy comes from a good family. He has a good head on his shoulders. He's educated. Maybe he has some success. If I marry this man, I am going to be catered to. My children will never suffer, right? But the problem with that is that since marriage cannot be kept by love, and you begin it without love, you're setting up yourself for failure because you don't like this person to begin with. Now you're there, you realize you can never love them, and you're here, stuck. Then you're going to resent them. Whereas some people, because it doesn't work for everyone, but some people who start their marriages on love, I think those are the people that keep trying to fuel things up. Keep trying to make things better because there was a genuine liking in the beginning.
Okay. Well, think about that today. Why? Because tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Please do yourself a favor and figure out this thing called love, because goodness knows it's still a mystery to most of us.
It is.
Keep listening to your number one station, RX Radio. This is the Fatboy Show.